Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lady Journey.
Lady Journey, where we keep not trying to spiral downward into a dark depth of depression.
We are staying right in the middle.
Yeah.
we're stopping the spiral before it goes all the way down, and we're just keeping it a plateau.
Yes, and I think that's where the comedy's at.
Yes, it is.
It's brackish water.
It is dark in here. But you know, I'm not like one of these comedians that caters myself for the male gaze. I'm hot and my life is easy. No, I'm a real woman with real issues.
Yes. And I was telling my friend this. We try so hard to get female demographics, but I have to tell you, all the comments on our iTunes is men. All of the DMs are men.
Yes.
I get a few females, but it's all men.
And we are grateful. Don't stop commenting.
But it's
whatever you do, because it's either you or no one.
But we found the Venn diagram where there's no woman and it's just the center part.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a Venn diagram that we are grateful for.
Well, I told you that I was hanging out with a hot girl comic recently.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think when I say, because I feel like when you say that on stage, everyone's like, oh, you're not unattractive. And you're like, I know where I stand. I don't think I'm unattractive, but there is a level of beauty that I call hot girl.
It's more of, I'm interested in hot culture too, because it's more of a lifestyle and a shift in your mindset that is like, I am going to embody this type of person where it's like, you could do it, I could do it, but I don't choose to. Instead, I'm kind of going for an androgynous. I'm kind of, am I a spaceship pilot? I don't know. I've got another haircut. But yeah, I am fascinated by hot culture, but I just don't have the energy to do it.
No, because it is a lot of work. Because you got to get your nails done all the time.
Yes.
You got to make sure if you're a blonde, you're always a blonde, and that's going to be $500 every 2 months.
Yeah.
Make sure you're tan. Make sure your clothes look like you're a hot girl. It's a lot of work, but it is really fascinating when you talk to them how different their lives are. And it is funny because like they'll just getting like NBA players DMing them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, are you guys? And they're acting like, you know, when you get like these kinds of DMs, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, when you date a football player. Like, I dated a guy who liked football.
I know. Mine are like, oh yeah, Brittany, are you getting the guy with no profile pic that sends you cryptic memes and you've never responded to one thing and he's been doing it for years?
How about the one I got on Facebook recently from a man I've never met or connected with? Did you see that my wife died 6 months ago? Said, no, I didn't, but I'm going to have to set a boundary by not responding to this. Sorry for your loss, and also consider this a loss.
I was waiting for that moment, and I'm glad you've reached out.
I'm so glad you let me know.
Such a young platform as Facebook.
Yeah, like, what did she die of? You
murdering her? Like, it's mind-boggling.
It is. Yeah. It's truly, it boggles the mind.
But yeah, so.
Well, I was thinking of getting into being hot, but I think I am just going to kind of stay true to my roots of like the homebody girl.
Yeah, I was trying to look like, I was like, maybe I'll be like that like kind of cute girl aesthetic that you just see online, like the like maybe like a French kind of look where it kind of lightly disheveled, but they still look good. But then I feel like even when I do a lightly disheveled look, I look just disheveled.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in order to be hot, you do kind of have to remove a little bit of your personality to like go into the into that category. And I just kind of want to stay authentic, which, as we have talked about before, doesn't sell. It rarely sells. But I'm
No.
going for my branding now is At Home Girlies.
Oh, I love
At Home Girlies. At Home Girlies, we are doing gua sha. We are doing our aromatherapy. We are doing, which my journey is for today, we are doing our bedtime routines and our sleep hygiene.
I like that because I have to say, this last month, I was in the mindset that I was going to be on a health kick lifestyle and, be appropriate before I go to bed, like wind it down. And
Yes.
I've actually turned it up.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything that you should not be doing. I've been drinking Red Bulls at 8 p.m.
Oh my goodness.
Looking at TikToks till 4 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And just socializing till all hours of the night.
Well, you know what? You're here. Well, this is your suburban life.
Yes.
And I know that that's your journey.
That is my journey, which
love
we'll
that.
get into
We will.
later.
I love that you are descending into madness out here in no man's land in the suburbs of Texas.
It's
you
lonely.
Are. Oh. Well, I've been super into my sleep hygiene, and I've been like kind of experimenting with this for a while because, as you know, I kind of have mental health issues, which I do not take medication. Instead, I try to just make my lifestyle fit around it and, kind of support myself through natural practices. I've definitely found that sleeping is one of the most important things I can do. And when I mean sleeping, I don't just mean like sleeping, right? Like going to bed, doing my nighttime ritual, which it is tough. Like when you're tired, it is tough to be like now I'm doing 3 other tasks. But I have got it worked out to it's down to a fine science. I bought a meditation cushion, which I was like, I have to use this. Otherwise now I just have a pillow that costs $95. I have a beautiful meditation cushion. I'm sitting, I'm meditating 8 minutes, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Just a little. Then I am turning on my aromatherapy, which, as you know, I got from Muji, my obsession.
Love Muji. I need to go back there for mechanical pencils.
Oh, I'll go back there for anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting on my aromatherapy, my gorgeous rose blend, and then I'm doing my gua sha, which I've gotten really into.
Yeah.
And the gua sha, I have to say, I don't notice that it's like an incredible difference in my face or whatever. I'm just doing it as a ritual of like self-care at night. Self-care, I feel like we get into this mindset where it's like self-care, like I need to pay for a massage, I need to do this. It's like, no, this is just a small act of self-love.
Yes.
That I'm doing right before bed. And also, I have made some changes to the bedding in my home.
Okay, I think this plays a huge part because I think sometimes you just kind of like, with at least the bedroom decor, it's an easy switch to do with the bedding.
Yes.
And man, having new sheets really makes you feel like your life is so much better.
Yeah, and we have a foam mattress, okay? So not a lot of people know this, but when you have a foam mattress, it's actually very heating. It's like it holds a lot of heat. It's not like the spring mattress that it has like air. Like the foam is really dense. So you can get super hot in a foam mattress. And yeah, hot and heavy. This is my hot girl talk. I'm like, I have the night sweats.
No, I just did not know about this, and it feels like it can actually like really cook you.
You get so hot in there.
You're like a little dumpling.
Well, I have new sheets, which let me tell you about these because I got the best sheets I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
I am not kidding. I got these incredible, it's called Ettitude. That's the brand. They are bamboo sheets.
Okay.
They are so luxurious. It feels like you are sleeping in silk. It is so cooling. And I've had nice high-end sheets. I've had, like the Egyptian cotton. Nothing compares to this. They are so gorgeous, and they have a bunch of colors, whatever. Now, do you want deep, restful sleep without taking melatonin? Wake up in the morning without feeling tired or needing that extra cup of coffee? You won't get that with any old cotton sheets, but you will with bamboo. Upgrade your stuffy cotton bedding to Ettitude's naturally breathable bedding made from their innovative clean bamboo fabric. It feels unlike anything you've slept on, and no, they won't cost you or the earth, because right now you can get 20% off your first order with code Sleep journey.
You were so seamless. I had no idea that you were going right into a sponsored.
Yeah.
But that was like
Sleep
smooth
journey.
sailing.
Sleep journey.
You just Tokyo drifted into a parallel parking spot. You're like this.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that we did reach out to Ettitude because first of all, they're eco.
Yeah.
And I love that about them. And second of all, they're high quality. And this is not the ad. This is just me telling you about them.
And you've test drove.
I have test driven. They're high quality. You take care of them, wash them on the gentle cycle. You're going to have them forever. And it's worth it. I used to do that thing where you like go into whatever Marshalls, right?
Yes,
and you're
where
like,
I go.
100% cotton, like whatever. And immediately they get all wrinkly and weird. They're popping up off the corner of the bed.
I bought some sheets on the whim just to do for like a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I got dollar store the dollar discount.
Yeah.
And I thought they were decent. And then as 6 months went by, they're pilling.
Yes, they're pilling. And those dollar store sheets too. They're a lot of times they're polyester, and it's like talk about
Heat.
burning alive in your bed.
Especially in the heat or the summer heat of New York City when there's not really central AC.
I love my bamboo sheets. They're so gorgeous. And we have a gorgeous, beautiful cotton comforter, that we have there too. And it's just been nice. But my whole sleep journey is, okay, it's the bedtime routine. Yes, I encourage everyone do a bedtime routine. And you have to have discipline with it too.
Yeah, that's my problem. I think I have addiction issues and I have a really hard time pulling away from my dopamine hits.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. And I was thinking to myself, like, I feel like I'm so disciplined with my writing, but or I'm disciplined with my working out. But it's like, why when I sleep it's like anyone's game,
I always tired in the morning and I always want to sleep in. So it's not like I don't want to sleep, but for some reason when nighttime hits, I'm putting it off so much. I'm looking at online stuff. I heard about that.
That's a thing. It's a thing. I don't know the technical term of it, but it's like when you don't have enough downtime during the day, you're kind of like your inner like rebel is like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm staying up late. And I do the same thing.
Everyone in your life that needs something for you is usually asleep. And so that's the time that you're like, this is actually the only time that I get.
It's a woman's time. That time of the day. Well, I have to say though, and because we do stand up and our schedule is a little bit irregular, I was like looking into how having an irregular schedule can actually affect your mental health long term, having an irregular sleep schedule. And I was like, I guess it would seem intuitive to you that it would affect it, but I just never really put it together in my mind. But even if I have shows, when I am like more careful about my bedtime, say like if my last show's at 1, if I go home, I just go right to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't do any messing around, just do the routine, go to sleep. Because when I stay up later and then sleep later, that's when I have those days that I just can't do anything. And it's the weekend jet lag, which a lot of people get that, where you're like out Saturday night, even if you're not drinking, even if you're not like smoking cigarettes or anything, like you still have this, I get an awful hangover.
Yeah, it was weird. So the last 2 weekend Fridays, I like to go to this dance club down the street called Numbers.
Numbers.
It's my favorite place.
So fun.
But last weekend, I hung out with my friend Diane, and she's a lady journeyer.
Shout out Diane.
We shared an Airbnb, but we stayed up talking till like 4 a.m, and I had a Red Bull that night. And then she gets up naturally early because she has a mom, so she wakes up early. She pulled up, got out of bed at like 9, so it made me get out of bed early, and it really reset my day. Like that could have been a day where I'm sleeping till noon and then thinking that I'm a whole loser. But I was slightly tired, but because I woke up at 9, it got me, or 9:30. It got me in the mindset of I managed to hit all of my errands for the day and do everything that I wanted to do.
Yes. And that's what I was doing too, is like not even being so careful about the bedtime. It's like if you feel like staying up a little later, just, you know what, fine. Like let yourself, especially if you are not giving yourself the time you need, like stay up a little later. But instead of me usually sleeping until 10:30 on my bamboo sheets.
Yeah.
Again, amazing. I cannot get out of bed. Sleep Journey, 20% off. Ettitude. Instead of me sleeping until 10:30, 11, where I have those days where I just wake up naturally, I'm like, ugh, and it feels like you're cramming everything into the day. I started getting up at like 8:30, and I've been doing it more and more. And even though I think I was actually oversleeping, you know, I'm like sleeping like 10 hours, and then I'm feeling zonked.
Yeah.
But then also when you get up early, it's just the fact of more that you can cram into your day in a more relaxed fashion.
I also think when you kind of wake up later, and I do this, I put myself through a shame spiral of like,
oh my God, yes.
I feel like a loser. And then I think that kind of sets me in this area of not in a form of paralysis.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're like, you feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, and then I'm like, well, I already wasted this day anyway, so who fucking cares about the rest of the stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like,
you just go back to bed at that point.
I know. I go like automatically on a huge down spiral.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. And so I do recommend getting up earlier. I think it's awesome. But I will say that you have to be careful with it, though, because you need to still be getting 8 hours of sleep. Because like there was a couple days where I went to bed late, but I was just like so excited to get up. And I am a morning person, which is, you know, probably something I should have looked into before doing a job that you only do at night.
I know.
Probably should have learned that about myself. But I didn't really figure that out, that I was a morning person, until I think the pandemic.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, I just feel so alive in the morning. So sometimes I'm going to sleep at like, you know, 1, waking up at 8:30, and then just like downing coffee and just like going about my day. And it's like, I'm actually at that point just kind of spinning out. That's when I'm getting into like minutia, that I'm like just following people on Twitter like, hey, love it. It's like I almost feel like, is my passion office work?
That's what I always think about that. Like, why is it that it's easy for me to do like sometimes the social media stuff?
Yeah.
I really can enjoy mindless work.
Love it. Filing
up,
Oh my
just like
gosh.
uploading stuff.
Yes.
As because you just put it and set it and forget it, and you get to do 10 minutes of something else.
Yeah.
I like scheduling stuff, typing things down, but like legitimately sometimes I'm like, do I like stand up?
Yeah. I like the stakes are too high. It's like, I've got to become famous or I can't live with myself. It's like, let's file.
I know.
Let's just organize a home.
Or how about like, I have to make everybody in this room laugh, or if I don't, people are going to be extremely upset with me, which
Yes.
I also don't understand
And
that
they're gonna
rationality.
offer their opinion on it.
No. Can I tell you, I had a show last week. A guy yelled out, "I can't stand your voice."
Oh.
How do you respond to that? And then, you know what's funny? It was a group of 13, which I always hate large parties.
Ugh, it's always the class clown of the group. It's like, oh, you're
Always.
off. You're really?
And then
You guys couldn't think of anything better to do?
they came up to me afterwards and they were so complimentary. And they're like, that was our friend. He was joking. I was like, well, he didn't say just kidding. And then he doubled down on it. So I don't get that sense of humor.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of joke that is where you're just yelling insults at people. That's like the mean girl at school that's like, you're wearing that.
I know.
I'm the funny one.
That's what it was. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, I think that's why I really enjoy like the office work of comedy sometimes.
Oh, I love it. I love sending an email.
You are done for the day.
Oh my gosh, send it off.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get into your journey, but first, I want to let everybody know that these unbelievably soft, clean bamboo sheets have over 15,000 five-star reviews, and they've been performance tested to be 17% better at regulating body temperature and 24% more moisture wicking. People's sleep quality improved by 10%. And their alertness during the day improved by 25% when using Ettitude sheets compared to their old sheets, which means you'll sleep better throughout the night and wake up feeling more rested than ever before. Now, I have to say, actually, because of the bad quality of sheets that I was sleeping on, my sleep was actually improved more than 10%.
More than 10?
Probably 45 even. But remember, everybody, clean bamboo does not use any harmful chemicals in the growing or the manufacturing process, and it saves 99% of water and 38% of carbon emissions versus traditional fabrics, so you can snooze sustainably. Simply put, Ettitude sheets are the secret to better sleep. So remember, everybody, we have a 20% discount that we are able to offer you with the code SLEEPJOURNEY. So enjoy it and sleep tight, journeyers.
Ettitude. It sounds like attitude.
Yeah.
It's a bad attitude that you have.
Ettitude. I love it.
Yeah.
They have a ton of stuff on their website. And
Is it just sheets?
It's not just sheets. It is all types. They have loungewear. They
I
have
love loungewear.
linens. I have been all over their website, and it is very Lady Journey to lose an hour to this website. Just add a few things to the cart and wait for that big check to come in. Okay.
Speaking of like doing that, like, so I went to World Market.
Oh.
Have you been to World Market?
No.
Did you ever go to Pier 1?
I love Pier 1.
It kind of like took off where Pier 1 left off.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think but they had some really great loungewear.
I love it.
High-end loungewear where I'm like, do I aspire just to be a rich lady that doesn't do anything?
I have to tell you, I am in my high-end loungewear era because I really am, because I just feel like I am so over cheap stuff.
Yes.
Like, even though, I'm not a rich millionaire, which is my dream that I just decided recently. I just read Think and Grow Rich, and now that's my dream. Like, even though, I guess it's because this is just what it means to be in your 30s, where you're like, I will not buy another pair of cheap sweatpants that wear out immediately.
Or shrink in the wash after one wash.
Never. I'm just done. I'm buying the stuff that I like. I'm buying one, and I'm taking care of it.
Yeah.
Like, this is my life now.
I want cashmere sweatpants and cashmere socks.
Love it.
And cashmere sweatshirt.
They have something I'm really into now, very sustainable, the cashmere, recycled cashmere.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, I'm into it.
Can I express a theory that I have lately?
Yes.
Do you know how we're always like, the fashion lately has been wearing like high-end athleisure, which has kind of transitioned over to just leisure wear?
Yes, sweatsuits. Love it.
I'm like, is that because we're in a huge depression because of capitalism?
Oh, I wonder. I know, it's interesting. When I was in Roma, which is where I went on vacation, check out our Patreon for more for my Rome stories. The fashion there is so gorgeous. You wouldn't. When you go to Rome, you'll see what people are wearing. It's these beautiful knee-length skirts. It's not short shorts. It's knee-length skirts, leather shoes, classic leather handbag. It is so simple yet so high-end. And it's very like, you don't see a lot of people like wearing jeans. When you go out to dinner, you look nice. It's very business casual culture. And I loved it so much because I felt like it gave me a sense of like pride that I don't feel when I am just like throwing on yoga pants and like dashing into Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, I just witnessed a murder and I need to like clean it, know. I'm like, where's the paper towels? It's just like, yes. Instead of like, we have such a casual culture in America where we do that. And that's something also I do love about hot girls, because they do put in that effort and that time. And me, as an aging pretty girl, who I'm kind of aging out of that demographic now, I'm aging more into, barren woman, I guess, is kind of my
invisible lady.
Yeah. Hello. I want to look, I don't want to look disheveled. I'm over it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't think I can pull it off anymore.
Yeah.
I also think because of that, I think people treat you differently.
Yes.
And now that you brought up, and you had mentioned that I've heard Italy is actually a really inexpensive place to live.
Yes.
and has like great health care, and the people are happy that I'm wondering because of that they dress nice and they're not in depression, because
Yes.
it's really weird. Like the shoes that are really popular that I've seen like grown men wear, and I get it, I do get it, because I've seen them and I want them, are the cloud slippers.
I am so baffled by the cloud slipper trend. Because I bought them when they were going off on TikTok only to wear in the home. And when I see people wearing them, I'm like, there is no grip. You are wearing a slipper.
I stayed in like what's considered a pretty decent hotel in Galveston last week. I saw this cute young family, husband and wife, and the dad was wearing soccer shorts, socks, and cloud slippers. And I'm like, you look like you're about to go kill yourself.
Yeah, it's just...
It was kind of depressing for me to be like, you have a kid. Why don't you make it seem like life is going great for you? Not that they were exuding depression or sadness. It was giving off to me in their clothes.
Yes.
That it was a weird... I was like, what a weird... Even just if you just put on sneakers, it would have elevated your look into... I'm not being like, are you okay?
I have a similar pet peeve. This has been one of my pet peeves for a while now, and it does feel like it's getting worse, is that when I go to the airport, I do not like to see people in loungewear at the airport. Like, it's a lot of girls will do this, and hot girls even will do this as well.
They get away with it the most.
They wear, like, PJs, and I'm talking, like, the printed pajama pants. And it's like, hun, you are taking a 2-hour flight to Fort Lauderdale, okay? You do not, it is not a sleepover. And it makes me viscerally furious, because it's like, if you wouldn't wear it to the mall, then you should not wear it to the airport.
Yeah.
Because you're in, like let's have, like, a sense of decorum about, like, society.
I know, it looks like you have escaped from a mental institution, or you're in who's the singer of the Beach Boys that slept in his bed for a full year?
I hadn't heard about that.
Brian Wilson. There was a well-known
yes.
song called Brian Wilson Day.
Yes.
It looks like you've had Brian Wilson days.
Yes.
And I feel like there's nothing wrong with going through something, but I do think it's important to not exude it.
You know what RuPaul says?
Which I love RuPaul, is he's a modern day philosopher.
He really is. And I have heard that he's toxic professionally. However, I did read his book, and it was all about it was about drag culture, and it was about presenting yourself in a fabulous way, because you have this incredible gift called life.
Yeah.
And you can be in the world, and you can present yourself in any way you want. So why wouldn't you choose to be gorgeous and fabulous and classy?
Yeah.
I mean, well, in my case, it's just because I'm, like, schlubbing. but that's not me anymore, because I'm elevating. I'm trying. Yes.
I'm trying. But no, it is hard.
It is hard.
It is hard. But yes, I don't even know. Oh, so the athleisure wear leading, which I think is America's way of saying we are depressed. That's what I think this is.
Yeah.
But I do like it. It is comfortable.
Yes.
I think there should be a new airport uniform. Somebody needs to design an airport uniform that's not depressing.
Oh, the airport employee uniforms.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like a thing that you can wear that is comfortable. Because I do think wearing jeans is uncomfortable.
Yes.
I do think if you're wearing a tank top, you will be freezing your ass off.
You'll be freezing. Yeah, I do slouchy jeans at the airport. I do like very baggy jeans. And I always do like a cloth jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my airport uniform. I do sneakers,
I do slip-on shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You can slip them on and off without having to untie them.
Yeah, slip-on shoes. But yeah, like, how about not a full Snuggie? Not just in going on the conveyor belts with your blanket from home.
That is another one. And these I will all bring up. We talked about it, but it never made it to the air. We talked about going to the movie theater.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right.
Everyone's bringing their blanket to the movie theater.
It is a disturbing trend. Because I went to the movie theater when it was the $3 day. As we all know, in America, they had a big $3 movie theater day. And I hadn't been to the movies. I had been to like one independent movie last year. But before that, it's been since way long before COVID. And I went in and I said, okay, this is why I'm not going to the movie theater. Because people are in there as though we're lounging in what feels like a bed for a full row of people. And these people are just snuggling up in there, and I'm over here, the third wheel, on I don't know what's happening. You have a full blanket in the movie theater. I mean, you're just laying down.
There could be hand jobs happening.
I mean, even if there's not.
Yeah.
I hope there's a hand job happening for what's this blanket. I mean, it is just... It's nuts. It's nuts.
Dad would bring it, and I always thought it was because he was having a hard time regulating his body temperature with diabetes. But, like, as time has gone by, it's just that's what we're doing. We're bringing our blankets. And I think I won't be surprised if people are going to start bringing movie pillows.
Movie pillows, yes. Hey, why not bring some sheets from Ettitude? Why not? Ettitude. 20% off with code Sleep Journey.
I love it. But that goes, okay, so my lady journey for this month.
Let's get into it.
First of all, my lady journey, I was initially going to be one of those people that gets up. I was going to try the 4 a.m.
I remember
get
you.
Up.
Yes.
I can't do it. And I've accepted that it's not my thing. And why beat myself up for it?
4 a.m. is too extreme. And I feel like in many of these self-help, life-changing, I mean, I'm always, this is my lady journey. I'm like, I'm going to change my life. No, I'm not. Okay, I went too hard.
Here I am.
Now I'm back.
Exactly.
It's like 4 a.m. is just, but I applaud you for thinking about trying it.
I tried it for like the first night, and I think I made it till about, well, first of all, I couldn't even sleep until about 3 a.m. So my journey is actually like, I've stayed a month in the suburbs, and I grew up in the suburbs, but you get so kind of used to, like living in New York, and I'm at 13 or 14 years by now. It's just different. And I have to say, like, I think when I grew up here in the suburbs, there's a little bit of like, I can't wait to get out of this dead end town, and it's going nowhere. And then as I've gotten older, I've actually realized it was actually a really nice place to grow up. There's green belts that connect every single small subdivision that we call villages. You can ride your bike. There is sports facilities that are open to the public that are nicely kept with mowed yards.
Yes.
There's little parks like the San Jacinto River, River Grove Park, and then like East End Park where I ran every day. So there are like, it's just nice.
I love the suburbs. You know, when you first move to the city, especially like when you're young in like 20s, early 30s, like living there, you have that feeling of like, this is the center of the world. And why on earth would anyone choose to live in another place? And then you are there for so long that you're like, oh, because it's nice.
It's nice.
It's so lovely. I'm in love with the suburbs.
It is. It's so weird. I actually think of it as one of my favorite vacations.
An oasis.
It is an oasis.
Driving to a Starbucks.
Driving to a
Luxury.
Starbucks. I like
a Target with things in stock.
And no one's in there.
Nobody's, as everyone knows, the listeners, I live by a small Target.
Yes.
And it's
chaos.
Has nothing. There's no women's section. Why would I go?
It's a half-drunken Dunkin' Donuts coffee on a shelf.
Yes.
And nobody gives a shit about the employees there are checked out, where I feel like you get better employees in the suburbs and better selection. So I did peruse. I perused my Target.
Yes.
Glorious.
And
Absolutely.
you take a little cart and you just, buy a candle.
Oh,
what is it about Target? I go in there, I'm like, I feel like I will never die. I feel immortal for a few moments, and that is the appeal of Target.
It is. It's like a spring, a hot spring that I feel like
It's like
Ponce de Leon was looking for.
the font of youth. It's so true. It is like Target is like a natural wonder.
Yes. Do you know what I miss about Target? The little cafeteria. I don't like the Starbucks, and I actually have a bit about the Starbucks in Target. I think it's a fake Starbucks, and it's the most depressing Starbucks you'll ever go into. They never unpack any of the boxes.
Nothing's in stock.
But I remember at the old Target, they had a little cafeteria where you could get like a hot dog.
Yes.
And remember that like tub of red drink that was always on a water fountain against the walls of the tub?
The Coke ones.
With the ice.
Ices.
What was that substance? But it was decadent and glorious.
So that was such a treat. And I'm getting a sense memory from that now of, yes, just like, I'm just going to go fill up a 20-ounce drink with some kind of snow cone and just enjoy myself while I pick out some nude towels.
I know. It's got everything. So I really enjoyed that. I also dipped into World Market, and World Market has got everything. You just feel like you're in Marrakesh.
Oh, I love that.
For the suburbs. I mean, I'm sure I'm joking, of course, but it's got like plates that look like you could get at a market. It's like clay and like glassware that's rustic and Indian cotton towels.
I love it.
Then they have one area that's like facial and bath stuff that just is packaged perfectly. And then you have like furniture that I actually am really into. And then you go into their international food area.
Ooh, I love it.
Just little cookies and meats and cheeses. And so it's a wonderful place to get presents. But I can spend literally hours in there.
I feel like this is why I am not a hot girl, because instead of being like, I'm going to work out, like I'm going to go get my nails done, I'm like, is this rattan? I love it.
The textures, I'm like living in there. So it does remind me of like the old Pier 1. So those were the things that like my little things that I like to do on the weekend here is to go indulge in that. Then I got a morning routine of going to this park at the end of Kingwood. And I found my trail. It's 3 miles and it times out perfectly. And I run that in the morning and I get myself another Starbucks coffee that I order on the app, and it's ready there
so
to
suburban.
be picked up. Isn't it?
I love that.
All
I
of
love
it.
That. Running in nature in the morning, I mean, it's just, you cannot compare that. And I do love city living. I love New York City, but it's like running the East River Park where you're like just in a traffic jam of other runners, that there's a biker on there. There's a guy on a moped for some reason, just like riding into the river.
Absolutely. I run in the city quite a bit. I went, and there's always construction. A story I was doing, concreting every corner for one summer. Mm-hmm. They didn't fucking put up any sign, and I ran right into wet cement like a white lady.
Is there someone I can call?
I know. I had the construction crew guy. He was helping me. He took me to a fire hydrant and he opened it up. He's like, "You have to get this off of you. Yeah. There's a lye in here."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I guess there's some kind of like intense chemical and cement that will seriously irritate your skin and lightly burn it.
Oh.
So I just had like wet cement feet. And this guy was so nice to me. Like, he could have been like, "You stupid bitch. You ruined our hours of work," and trucked right through our...
Yeah.
Instead, he was like legitimately concerned and felt really bad for my embarrassment, that it was like one of those things where I felt like I was like this to him.
I love it. Like a stranger shows kindness and you're like, "Am I in love with you?" That's what it's like living in New York City, because you always hear the tale, and there's like quite a few shows on Netflix that like embody this right now. That's like the suburban repressed housewife, and she goes down to the city and she gets in a she kisses a girl, but it's like you never hear what is actually, I think, more of a true story, where it's like the woman that's like living in the a nightmarish situation where there's an ambulance storage facility next to her home, and that's all she hears every day, just like dreaming of like a calm life.
Yes. I always joked when I went to visit my parents, like I would sleep for hours, and I was like, I think what's happening is I've come home from the war.
Yes.
Of living in the city, and you're just sleeping off the trauma.
Because you do get low level overstimulated by noises in New York. That's what I was.
You're on high alert all the time.
Yes, the seven sacred types of rest. Sandra Dalton. That's one of the things she talks about in that book.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there's so many different things that can deplete your energy, but that is one, like just hearing sirens all the time.
Yeah, it's constant. And just other. You have like, I call them hornets in a car. Just guys on the subway being like, please give us money, and you're like, don't look at me, don't look at me. Yeah. I call them, lately it's light mugging or aggressive panhandling.
Yes,
is what's happening.
It is scary, when you're kind of cornered.
Yeah, and where we work regularly at the cellar.
Yes,
we're getting home out of there at 1:32 sometimes, and it's a zombie apocalypse.
Wild out there. It's wild, and not to mention it's a college area as well.
Yeah,
so there are people like
drunk,
screaming, and
guys that didn't get laid that are looking for a fight.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mess out there, and that's why.
You don't get that in the suburbs.
In the suburbs, it's like you are, and I do think like that's one of the things that as a city person I find like a little unnerving. Is it's just like, oh, there's no one around, like that kind of feels scary. But then once you get used to it, you're like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Also, the sun hits differently in the suburbs.
The sun.
That low level sun. I've enjoyed grocery shopping, and I'm talking, Texas has insanely huge grocery stores. Like football size fields.
I love a huge grocery store where you're like, oh, I'm not going to need to go to 6 other places today to make one salad.
And you can get like, you can stock your fridge up with a whole, like several cases of soda.
I love that. When we were talking with Lindsay
a
few weeks ago,
I want to be that house.
Stocking the snacks. I'm like, this has kind of become my fantasy now.
Yeah.
I ordered my Ito N.
And you can have that in the suburbs. And also like, it's inexpensive. They have village pools. So if you can't afford your own personal pool, there's a nice pool open to the public with a lifeguard. And generally they're never that busy.
This Airbnb has a pool and it's lovely. I was like, wait, I didn't bring my suit.
I should have brought my bathing suit.
I know.
So my whole time, and Joe joined me here, like, there's a lot to do in the suburbs. I think that for a while, I think there's people in the city that look down upon suburbs of like, I do have to say you do miss the food options. I'm not getting Vietnamese at 2 a.m.
Right.
Things aren't open late, but after a while you're like, why are things open late?
Right. We don't have that many good restaurants that are open late, even in my neighborhood, that I would miss it. It's like I will get a sandwich at the bodega if I'm desperate.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just come home and have a fridge stocked with the food that I want to eat.
Yes, I know, because it's like not often that we're always going out to eat, and usually it's Italian food or Chinese, and you can get that in any neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it has been really relaxing.
I love the suburban journey for you.
Yeah, and I think
this.
I could get involved in the politics of it.
My friend who is a listener, thank you, Sarah. She actually did move to it's more of a lakeside town.
Okay.
And she's gotten involved in the local politics and she really loves it.
Because I think it could get quite interesting. And I already told my mom my plans for Kingwood if I was mayor, and I already got pushback from her.
Oh, Mom.
I know. It's quite
Too liberal.
irritating. I was like, I'd love to gravel the top area of the storm ditches and make those into nature walks because there's lots of great cranes and turtles and wildlife that lives in there. And she's like, well, then you get the mad bikers. And I'm like, what mad bikers are you talking about? It's like one every now and then that I'm just like, I just was realizing in my car, I'm like, my mom, if I was mayor of Kingwood, she would be one of my arch enemies.
This is what I love about local politics. It's like that wonderful, what was that great show? Parks and Rec.
Yes.
It's so the world of that, where it's like, now I'm dealing with Jim, an angry local plumber.
Yes, and you don't get that. You get groups in the city.
In New York, it's like, I mean, affecting politics in any way in New York, it has got to be a nightmare. I mean, you're just like organizing a protest outside of whatever place you think is going wrong, and then nothing happens.
Yes,
It's too complicated.
you fix one issue, and then you've got an unintended consequence that has completely defiled a whole culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's too because it's just too many people. It's conflicting
and
interests.
a lot of people on top of each other that have
Yes.
so many different backgrounds and political beliefs and religious beliefs, and you're like, okay, you don't have the vaccine, but like,
Get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine.
yeah, it's crazy.
I got it.
Yeah,
I will
well,
say
I'm
I
also
got
talking
it.
about like measles and mumps and all that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. It's just wild. Like, you cannot do. I think doing politics in New York would be crazy, but I do think they should at least let us all try it for a week and see who can do the best job at it.
I would turn it down.
Do you think
I'd
so?
say, you know what? It's not for me. Unless I get to be the mayor immediately and I get to go to like the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Not interested.
No.
I
Well,
can't be a public servant unless I'm a star.
yeah, you get to be involved in the
that's
big things.
Why they let you do that stuff, because it is kind of a thankless job. I mean, it's like being the mayor of New York. It's like it's just a scapegoat for everyone to pile on everything that's going wrong with the city.
I know, which is always kind of wild where you're like, he actually doesn't yield that much power.
Right. But I mean, I guess I would love it in that way if I would just play the villain.
Yes.
Oh, the mayor getting
The
her
heel?
nails done again.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Like when Nancy Pelosi would be like, she got an $800 haircut.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, she's rich. Okay. Leave her alone. I love it.
Yeah, so I would
like
like to get
you want
involved in the local politics.
Nancy
of
Pelosi to
Kingwood.
look like Shaggy. Just like shabby. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
there.
it's fine. I'm pretty much, that was my suburban lady journey.
I love it.
I am actually ready to get back into the city because I've just been eating huge giant dicks here in the city.
On stage.
Yeah. As a pastime.
Well, I feel like I would enjoy moving to a town that was closer to New York, but a little less busy.
Yeah. I would love to be like maybe a nice neighborhood in Long Island, although I find those people to be miserable people.
Mm-hmm.
Or I like the idea of Hudson Valley, but if you're saying that you also have an extreme amount of wealth.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is tricky neighborhood by neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
You have to really I've been kind of looking a little more, and I think like you got to get in there and do your research.
Yeah.
And also it's the same as anywhere where it's like some things are going to be great and you can't control everything, you know.
No.
Your neighbor could be
Pros and cons.
Yeah,
You could have
right.
a psycho neighbor.
could have a psycho neighbor, or they could be lovely. You never know.
You never know. That's the thing that I find fascinating on TikTok. People actually have some really insane behavior from their neighbors.
Oh, well, I'll tell you about my psycho landlord in the Patreon.
Yes.
It'll be great. Well,
Right.
everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Lady Journey today. And please do remember that we have an amazing new sponsor called Ettitude. Their sheets are bamboo. They're luxurious. They are sustainable. And you can get 20% off now. If you guys have been listening, of course, I've been vamping with these incredible Ettitude reads throughout the entire episode. We have our own page with them. Okay, so it's https://www.ettitude.com/sleep journey. Use the code sleep journey SLEEPJOURNEY to access 20% off the Ettitude sheets. They're incredible. And check out everything else on their line.
Yes. And join our Patreon. I just bought new stones.
Cannot wait. We will be doing dedications in the next episode. So
Yes.
stay tuned for the rock dedications.
And we'll be back in the studio, and we've got I think we're going to make some big minor changes.
We're going to be rebranding. So
Yeah.
thank you. Come on our rebranding journey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lady Journey.